Have a look at these pages. The beautiful dotted line, it's the simplest stitch of embroidery, and that's the running stitch. And by the end of this video, we're going to be doing it in your slow stitch book, or indeed wherever you want to use it. Once you can do this stitch, you're off and running and you can do them all. If you're brand new to embroidery, you're in exactly the right place, and we're going to have a good practice. So I just want to share with you my stitching book. So if you've never made one, there's a link below and on the screen so that you can go and make yours, and you can see all the places I've used the running stitch. So it's great on its own, it's great for sewing fabric on, and all in all, a great all-rounder. But all you really need is a piece of fabric. I'm going to use this one, but you can use any piece of fabric you've got, and a needle. No pressure on the needle, any needle you've got, but you do need an eye big enough to get your thread through. And then you need some thread. I'm using embroidery thread, but please use any thread you've got. And I don't tend to use the embroidery thread as it is. You can do, and that's something I really recommend you experiment with, different threads later on. But I'm just going to cut a length, and then I'm going to divide it because I don't want the full 6 strands. So if you want to separate thread, you simply separate it out how you want. As I say, I'm going for 3 strands each, half of it. You could be working in 2 strands and then you get 3 lengths, but just separate it so you've got those 3 strands, one in each hand. You can see I'm having a bit of trouble, but once you've got those 3, it's really easy to separate without getting it all twiddled up. So just take them separate like that in one hand, and then run your finger down and let the end twizzle free. It needs to be free on the end. It's a bit difficult for me to show you, but if you just hang it vertically, it'll work really well. And there you've gone, 2 threads. Just run your fingers along them so that they're not too twisted, like that. And then it's time to thread your needle. One way to do it is to wet the end and then push it through, or fold it tight round the end and then push that through. And that's what I've just done there. And then make sure you've got a short tail and a long tail, and then you're going to put a little knot in the end just so that it doesn't pull through your fabric, and then you're all set to start, and we're going to do our running stitch. So once you're happy, you've got your knot, we're going to just bring our needle up from the back where we want to start your running stitch. So just bring it through where you want to start so that that knot sits just at the back of the fabric, just against it, and then go along as far as you want your running stitch to be. Now it can be as long or short as you like. So I don't know, 1/2 inch is quite long, 1/4 inch is quite short, and then you're going to go in and then back out as wide as you want the gap, and you're going to go in and then back out as wide as you want the gap. Don't worry about the fact the first one I did a little differently. I'm going to show you that. I just want to get a couple on the fabric so you can see how it's working. So you go in and then back out. Now if you do it like that, it feels so nice. It's such a rhythm, and you really get into that and really enjoy that dashed line forming. So it's simple, in and out, a little dotted path across the fabric. It's a really satisfying stitch to do, very soothing. So you're trying to keep them the same length and you're trying to keep the gaps the same, but there really is no stress about this. It doesn't matter if they're perfect or not, it's going to look beautiful. So you're just going to keep it nice and snug. You want your fabric lying against the stitch. I think I should have said that the other way around. But you don't want to pull your fabric too tight. That we don't want. If it happens, just pull your fabric. Because it's a running stitch, it will just go back through nicely. And you're just taking this as far as you want. There's no hurry here. You just keep going until you get to the end. So we've tried loading a few stitches on, we're doing a few at a time, and just keep going. And then once you get to the end, take your needle to the back. Make sure it's nice and flat. And then the easiest way to finish off, obviously we don't want to just cut it, it'll all come out, is to just push your needle through some stitches. Now I don't find that secure enough, so I tend to, for one of them, go through the stitch and then go through the loop, so it just forms a little knot and it will not pull through, and then you can cut your thread off, and that's it. You've done a beautiful running stitch, and you can use that on any project you like. Now you can see here I've done a spiral of running stitches for a different design in my book, and you really can experiment. So look here, we've got a border, so it's just put round a picture to form a border, but I've done 2 rows and look how different they are. And then now I'm going to use the 2 rows at the bottom to show you a new stitch. It's using the running stitch, but we're adding another thread, and all you do is come up at the end of your running stitch, if I can get it through, and then you put the needle through the stitch, not through the fabric at all, just through the stitch, and then back through the next stitch, and then back through the next stitch. You're simply weaving under and over, and you never go through the fabric. What you're making here is a whipped running stitch, and it looks almost like a twisted rope effect, and it can look amazing, especially if you use 2 really contrasting colours. So you can see I've got a nice rusticy brown and orange here because that's the effect on the page I'm doing, but it can look amazing in 2 very different colours, perhaps a black and a bright pink. Now when you get to the end, it's just the usual, go back through, and then you could finish off. However, I've got 2 rows of it, so what I'll do is come back up at the end of the next row and work my way back along. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to have in your stitching journal, and it's a beautiful thing to put on any sort of embroidery. It shows what's possible, doesn't it? Just one simple stitch you've learnt here and you're already doing really something beautiful. So there we have it. That is the running stitch in all its lovely simplicity. I hope you've enjoyed it, because what I'm doing is building a series of lots of different embroidery stitches for your slow stitching book. I do feel this one deserves more credit than it gets, and I'd love to know if you have a go at using it, how you use it, how you get on with it, and any tips you have, or maybe further stitches you'd like to see in this series. I mean, I'm always welcome to suggestions, and including the ones you want. So if you are new here, welcome. It's lovely to have you. And this channel is all about crafting on a budget, learning new skills, and just enjoying the process of making things. We don't like to rush, we don't like lots of pressure, and we definitely don't think there's a right or a wrong. So I'd love you to stay and join us for the rest of the series, and perhaps be making your own stitching journal, even if you'd never thought about doing it before. You can see different pages I'm building up here, and you can do all your own pages. So look at some of these with some buttons attached, different stitches, some stem stitches, lots and lots of running stitches. So I hope you're feeling inspired, and on the screen you'll see links to this book, blanket stitch tutorial, and all I'm going to leave with is I'll see you in the next one. Happy stitching.